Hi self-healers! In this video you're going to learn how to muscle test yourself to better determine what's right for you in that moment. Hey guys, Experimental Betty here, and I just wanted to take a second to welcome all of the self-healers out there to my YouTube channel, and I wanted to do a little tutorial on muscle testing. So first of all, a little background on this. In my opinion, good health has nothing to do with working out every single day, no matter what you feel like, or filling your plate with raw vegetables, even though your body's telling you that sounds disgusting. And good health isn't about fighting yourself. It's not about fighting illness or fighting disease or anything like that. It's about working with your body, and it's about determining how your body wants to be worked with and what your body needs. And it's an ongoing process. You're not gonna just wake up one day and be healed for life. You're going to be a self-healer for life if you wanna have good health for life. Some people call it biohacking. Whatever you wanna call it, you have to do it for life if you want to be healthy and happy and live a long, productive life. So the history behind muscle testing, basically the reason for it is that if you have an MRI or blood work done, you are getting a snapshot of what's happening in your body in that moment, but it's just that moment. So things will change. I mean, take hormones for instance. They change drastically throughout the day, and they change drastically throughout the month. So muscle testing is a way to intuitively determine what your body wants in that moment. And you can do it all day long. You can do it as much as you want. And there's a ton of different ways to do it. I can think of like 15 just off the top of my head. Some of them require a second person to muscle test you, but some of them can be done on yourself. And either way, it's not a totally objective thing. It's a little bit subjective because you're using your intuition. It's not something that can be measured with randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blind studies. And if that's what you need in order to be sold on something, then this probably isn't right for you, because this takes a little bit of faith. Faith in your intuition and faith in your body's ability to heal itself. So you can use muscle testing for foods. If you're hungry and you don't know what to eat, go to the fridge, pull out some options, and you can muscle test them. Or use it at the grocery store. If you see something cool and want to know how it's going to affect you, give it a muscle test. Now, I'm not saying live your life only by what you muscle test well for. I muscle test poorly for things that I eat on a daily basis. But I know that, if I really wanted to get down to like nuts and bolts and feel 100% all the time, I gotta cut that out. But it's up to you, live a little. Use the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, do what you're supposed to. 20% of the time, throw caution to the wind. Whatever. I'm still not eating donuts or, anything like that. Sometimes I want a particular protein powder in my smoothies, and I don't muscle test well for it. Well, who cares? It's just one meal. It's not gonna make or break you. Balance it out with the rest of your day. Without further ado, I'll show you my top 3 ways to muscle test yourself. So the first way is making a circle. You don't want to be doing this with your fingernails. You want to do this with the pads of your fingertip. And different people will use different fingers for this. I like to use my ring finger and my thumb, because it's not going to be as strong of a bond as your pointer finger or your middle finger, and it's not going to be as weak of a bond as your pinky finger. So I think middle fingers or ring finger is a good compromise. So you do this with your dominant hand, and you use one finger from your other hand, and you put it through the circle. So you test your yes and your no to find out what your yes response is and your no response is. So if you really want to do this as least subjectively as possible. You can look at a smiley face and test that, and then look at a frowny face and test that, because you will get a yes and no response just automatically from looking at those things. If you want to do it in a rush, then you use your name. So I would say, my name's Elizabeth. So it's stuck. I could break it if I wanted to. This isn't a test of strength. This is a test of, you know, how easy it is to break it. So you use the same amount of force with each question. And if it's easier to break it, then that's a no. So my name's Elizabeth, my name's James. That's it. So until you get good at it, it's highly subjective and not very accurate. Unless you're really good with your intuition already. The other way I like to do it is, so muscle testing, like historically, you would hold your arm out and then a second person would try to push your arm down. Well, that's not that easy to do on yourself. So you can use your finger, sort of like your arm. So again, your dominant hand, this time we're gonna use our pointer finger and try to press it down. So my name's Elizabeth, my name's James. Cool, right? My name's Elizabeth, my name's James. And you can ask yourself questions, like if you get a no response to a food, you can ask yourself a question about it and kind of like be your own investigator until you find out why it is you can't have that food, and maybe you need to combine it with another food and then it's fine. So a better way to test for foods and supplements though is to stand, and it's gonna be hard for me to do it now, but I'll try. I can't really get my whole body in this, but you would hold the supplement or the food in your hand, and you have your feet standing shoulder distance apart. So since I don't have anything in my hand, I can just ask myself a question. So my name's Elizabeth. I don't know if you can see, but that was a slight lean forward. Okay, so back to center. My name is James. Whoa, okay, so that was like a serious, so that was like a serious leaning back. I'll grab a supplement and see. This is Thorn BPP. So this is digestive enzymes. So feet hip distance apart, hold it at your heart. And I'm getting a slight lean forward on this. So if you hold this in your hand with food, or if you take a bite of food and then hold this in your hands and try the test, you may get a different answer than if you're just testing it by itself. Sometimes the answer is really subtle, and sometimes you don't sway at all. Sometimes you stay completely straight. And my opinion about that is, if that happens, it's just a neutral effect. It's not gonna be beneficial and it's not gonna be negative. You can do it without impact to your body. So that's it. Muscle testing has, it does have a scientific basis in neurolinguistics and applied kinesiology. And it was once used to test polio sufferers to determine their organ strength. So there's a way to muscle test your organs, and that really requires somebody else to do the muscle test on you. But that's a whole nother video. I'll make a whole nother video on that as soon as I get a willing participant to let me muscle test them on camera. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this, let me know. Right now I'm working on something really exciting. It's going to be an entire self-healers learning platform. And one of the chapters in my master course on becoming a self-healer for life is going to be on muscle testing. So I'm going to really in-depthly teach you how to determine what modality will be efficacious for you.